Hello and welcome to Evolve with James. This episode is going to be a question and answer. It's just me. I have been getting a bunch of questions from people. I've always got questions from people, most of which are stupid. But I took questions from the last couple of days, and I just like picked a bunch at random, and I'm going to answer them. Uh, some of them are, well, one of them is really silly, but majority of them are just people's like interested questions about me or about lifting, some such like that. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. There is no order to these. I just picked them out. Um, so you're going to have to watch the entire episode in order to find out the answers to all the questions. And I am not going to give who asked me the questions. Um, I should have fucking the ones that were really fucking retarded or stupid. I should have gave that person's Instagram information and the question they asked, but we're gonna stay out of that. So the first question I have is, what is my favorite liquor, like alcoholic drink? I would have to say years ago it was Crown Royal, but there was an incident with Crown Royal, so I no longer drink Crown Royal. Now my drink is Grand Marnier. Uh, it's a cognac, and I think it's tasty as fuck. I think it's supposed to be chilled, but I drink it warm. Not warm, but like room temperature. It gives me heartburn when I drink it when it's refrigerated. So I don't know. That's my fucking answer for that one. Okay, the second question would be, what's my favorite Pop Tart? It's a funny one. I actually tried a year ago to get my gym sponsored by Pop Tarts. I thought it would be funny for a couple of reasons. For one, like, who the fuck is sponsored by Pop Tarts? And I was actually looking for anything. I just wanted a fucking banner that said sponsored by Pop Tarts from them to hang in the gym. And then I emailed them, got no response for like weeks, then finally get one back saying that they don't sponsor anybody, but they appreciate that I love Pop Tarts. So I'm a little heartbroken, but I'm not sponsored presently by Pop Tarts. But maybe if someone from corporate sees this, I doubt it, but maybe that they'll sponsor me. But my favorite Pop Tart is, this is my box of treats. Well, it's the last thing in the box. Snickerdoodle Pop Tarts. I think it tastes different. It tastes almost like a cookie. Even the even the Pop Tart itself, the actual cake of itself, is totally different. Let's throw it back down there. It's like it tastes like a snickerdoodle inside, but the actual Pop Tart is more flaky. It's more like a pastry, where most Pop Tarts are. It's everything but cookie. You gotta try them just to see what I mean. You may not like them, you may not, may like them, whatever. My personal preference is I microwave them. I don't toast. I don't toast them. I think they taste better microwaved. So there's that. Why do you call Set a bunny? I cannot. I cannot answer that question without embarrassing her. So I can't. That one I would not answer. How did you and Seta fall in love? Well, it goes to, I bought her a giant stuffed whale. His name is Whaley. Yeah, fucking thing's massive. And I sent it to her. We used to joke about whales. Actually, we used to joke. Get out of here, Whaley. Okay, so there was a joke. I saw something. Now, I don't know what I could have been talking about. Like shit just pops up in your feed all the time. So I must have been talking about something or joking about something, and somehow. And what popped up in my feed was people at SeaWorld, like the person that actually was responsible, not SeaWorld, some like fucking maritime place, that was actually responsible for um, reproduction of whales. So he was jerking off a giant fucking whale. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I joked with her about it. She laughed. We thought it was funny. Um, it might be ridiculous, but if you if you got courage, look it up on YouTube. It's fucking weird. That's not a job I don't think anyone wants. but nevertheless, it is a fucking job. So I bought her a giant whale and I sent it to her before I moved here. Actually, before I even met her in person, they mailed it in a box, and I wanted her to call me when she got the box. So she was like on the phone with me. She was opening it, and she had the camera set up so I could see her. And she was like beyond excited to have this giant stuffed whale, and it sleeps on our bed like a fucking dog would. But yeah, that's the answer to that question. Maybe too much information, but there it is. What is the craziest thing you ever did? That's a good one. And not for lack of doing fucking stupid shit my entire life, but there's a lot of them. I brought up another podcast with this kid, Greg, and I think probably I'm going to have to go with this. Okay, so I made chloroform. Why did I make chloroform? Who fucking knows? I've done a lot of weird shit. I made chloroform, but in order for me to make sure if I ever was to use it on somebody else that wouldn't kill them, I had to test it on myself. So made I made a batch, which theoretically should have been perfect, and I chloroformed myself with a cloth. I passed out, and then I woke up, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later, and I was fine. I don't think I have any brain damage. I'm not positive. But I survived, so thus I know how to make chloroform. I remember I was like telling Greg, we were talking about something in one of my podcasts, and I was telling him that I did that, and he was like, well, what if you would have died? And like, my easy response was like, I wouldn't have known, right? I mean, you take chloroform, you black out. If I died, as I was falling asleep from the chloroform, I would have think, I'm just gonna pass out from this. I'll be up soon. So if I didn't wake up, I guess I wouldn't know. But I didn't wake up. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. But that's because I could have died. So that's probably the craziest thing I ever did. I put these on paper because I didn't want to scroll through my fucking phone and miss them. There's a few things I have to go to the phone though. Anyways, who is your favorite person at the gym? This was actually asked to me, I'm going to say, by Olivia. I told her, don't be sad because it's not you. It's actually this girl, Caitlin. Her sister, Maddie, actually lives with us too. She hasn't been in a while, but Caitlin, why is Caitlin my favorite? She talks to me about personal things outside of the gym. And I don't think she has a very good relationship with her father. I miss my son because he lives in Syracuse and I live here. And because I was divorced when he was 3, I feel like I missed a lot. So I think the fact that she's like 21 years old, just turned 21, and she tells me a lot about her life. And I look at her like a daughter. And yeah, I think but she is my favorite. I look at her like a daughter. For sure. That answers that question. Sorry, Olivia. Close, but there's not going to be another Kate. Okay, this is interesting. How do I feel? Forgot about this one. How do I feel about people claiming victimhood? Well, I guess there's lots of ways you can be a victim or people cry about it. I don't need to get into all of them. Pretty sure you fucking people, everyone knows the many faces of victimhood. But I think you're only a victim if you want to be a victim. I totally felt like I was the victim after my divorce. And I blamed everything on my ex-wife until I really took a look at myself and realized all the things that I did to, cause the divorce. And like the fucking wallowing in my own self-pity was, clearly me. Like she wasn't doing it. We were divorced. She wasn't doing anything intentionally that caused me harm every day or mental anguish, but I was never letting it go, and I was never I say I was always blaming her. So then every little thing in my life I blamed her. Why I felt that way, why it happened. Until I actually took responsibility for it, and then took responsibility for my life. Like, you know what? We're divorced. Like, and ultimately, I think I was hurt the most because it wasn't her that I missed. It was the idea of family. Me, her, like her and my son, like us three, a family. So it was that idea of family that I missed. And I didn't. But we really weren't anyways. Me and her never got along. Nonetheless, stop being a fucking victim. You're only a victim if you choose to be a victim. And if you choose to be a victim, you're a fucking moron. So, how about that? Next question. Let's see here. Okay, well, this is an easy one. Hey, how do you deal with negative people at the gym? Well, I own my own gym, so I don't deal with them. If people are negative and I feel they're being negative to other people, I just throw them the fuck out. I have to work a day job. I'm never going to be rich owning the gym. The gym is solely something I love to do. And I think Seta loves it too. And then I like helping people, but I have to work anyways outside of the gym. So I'm definitely not going to keep um, anyone there that fucking pisses me off or that's negative that brings other people down. So yeah, I get rid of them. So nobody's at my gym right now that's fucking negative. Anyone becomes negative, they're fucking gone. Easy. Okay, next. What is one of the most painful experiences you ever had to go through emotionally? That was probably be when I got divorced. Um, like I was just saying a little bit ago, it wasn't a divorce. And to answer this question, it was, I lost the real day to day connection with being a father. I got like Tuesday and Thursday after he got done with school. But back then he didn't have school. But he was 3 years old when we got divorced. But you know, but once he got into school, middle, like elementary and school, it was Tuesdays and Thursdays after 4 until 8 or 9, and then every other Friday when he got out of school, and then Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday he had to be home at 8. Um, that destroyed me. Uh, I think it still bothers me. I feel like I never got to really see my kid grow up, and I think I've always overdid things for him, trying to make up for that. I don't know, And then he was like 11, and you know, I think he grew up faster because of coronavirus and all that shit, and he was okay with me moving here. It's like 3.5 hours away when I met Seta, but I think there's a distance between us because I didn't live with him. Like I said, yeah, it destroyed me. Um, I when it first happened, I had like a major drinking problem, self destruction. I hated myself. Uh, yeah, I mean, it took me time. Like I said, it took me time to um, like I was saying earlier, get over stop blaming her, the divorce, and then just not being able to see him took me time to just weed out all the negative things I was doing to myself and in my life. I mean, the pain's still there, but at least I'm not. It's like you get a burn on your hand and it hurts, but you don't keep burning the same spot. It's my best analogy, I guess. I'm not burning the same spot, but it still burns. You know, will it ever heal? I doubt it. I mean, I think I look at like how I wonder, sometimes I feel like I don't talk to my parents enough, and I wonder if, as I was, 15, 16, when I was like older and distancing myself from them during, teenage years, I wonder if they felt the same. I wonder if they felt like they missed me and they were missing my life or missing like the closeness we used to have when we were littler. I mean, I guess it's something that every parent deals with. I just had to deal with it when he was 3, which fucking absolutely sucked. I didn't get all those young years. Yeah, I did see him, but nowhere near as much as, I should have, or as he should have had me around. Yeah. How did it make me who? How did it make you who you are today? That's. I think I'm tougher emotionally because of it, and I I think I could do anything. I don't think anything bothers me because I live with that pain of not having him. So nothing really bothers me that much, to be honest. Like any fucking emotional pain is like, you know, uh, almost like reflective. It hits me and then it's just fucking gone, to be honest. It doesn't seem to fucking bother me. Okay, that is a little depressing. So let's move it along. What made you want to open your own gym? Rhino Strong, my gym. I would say I want the biggest thing is that so I came from a powerlifting gym in Syracuse, Blood Iron Barbell. People were close there, but not as close as people thought. Clicky close. Like if you trained with a certain group, you were close with them, and if you missed days training with them, they kind of didn't include you in shit. I didn't want to do that at my gym. Everyone, for people who are part of the groups, the people that aren't in groups, to average day to day people that walk in there, I treat everybody the same. They're all invited to birthday parties, Christmas parties, any events we do, to travel with us, to meet, everything. I grew up I'm 47, grew up in a small neighborhood where everyone looked out for each other. Everyone. Um, the old lady, Grandma Tellman, her name was Tellman, that lived across the street, would like kind of like watch out for us, make sure we weren't in the street with cars, make sure, if we were sneaking out of my house and they'd call my mother if I was doing stupid shit, just like looking out for me. Um, my brother didn't do anything wrong, so rather than him, but. And then, said this Eminem mug. And then, it was a whole like, like older people, there was issues, there was older guys in the neighborhood that kind of like helped us out. And, it was, everyone knew who everyone was. You know what I mean? You fooled around or yeah, everyone helped each other out. Kind of like the can I borrow some sugar type of ordeal. But it was a nice neighborhood. And it wasn't just mine. Neighborhoods back then were like that. So I wanted to create that environment too, because it's kind of like the last 20 years, America's like strayed from that. People have become more secluded, and I totally believe it's because of social media. Completely, because people now um, feel more comfortable talking virtually with people, feel more comfortable like texting, talking over social media, sending people on social media. So it's pulled away that closeness that people had. So the people have been distanced with a little bit of like physical touch because of that, and then coronavirus had happened, and everyone became a fucking bitch, and then people really pulled away from people because they were scared that someone was going to kill you by breathing on you, which is fucking ridiculous. Um, so that distance that put the divide even greater on like every social, economic, and racial line, gender line. Like it fucking really fucked. And I totally believe it was meant to do that. I don't believe social media was meant to do that. I believe they were meant to get rich. But the coronavirus, the whole segregating people, that was definitely fucking purposeful. And I don't know if it was purpose to get Trump out of office or to just fucking divide the whole country, but it fucking worked. And people are stupid to fucking fall for it. Yeah, so I opened the gym. I wanted people to connect more. I wanted more human touch. I wanted more people to like work and help each other. Like everyone helps each other at my gym. Like don't come in there just random new person, and the kids will even like give them a hand or spot. Like you go in a commercial gym and like you could be benching, you could be struggling with something where people look around, they're like, the fucking guy's probably gonna miss that, and they just watch, and they're fucking hoping you fail. Well, like no one at my gym will do that. They're like, need a spot. They'll come over. They'll watch you. You know what I mean? Like they'll help. Even people that don't know what they're fucking doing will ask. You know, will come over and help. They'll watch them. You know, or helps, but just in case you can't fucking get the lift. Um, I'm proud of that, and it means a lot to me. I love all my members, all of them, and they're all like my family. I love them to death. But yeah, people need to get back to some type of human touch, and that's what I wanted to create. I think I did. Next question. Okay, this is an interesting one. So, what do I feel is the biggest food myths? And there's two of them. I feel that they are the most important, that have impacted us, especially men, the most. And one is sodium, telling us to decrease our sodium intake, which is fucking retarded. And the second one is to reduce the amount of cholesterol we have, especially animal cholesterol. And they push plants. Plant cholesterol is fucking not good for you. Raises your estrogen. So men, be wary. And even women, breast cancer. So plant cholesterol is not good for you. But animal cholesterol is definitely good for you. They've been telling us to limit it. Had some kind of thoughts, so I kind of like went through some stuff, and I just added. I wanted notes. Um, your body needs cholesterol, like I was saying, from animals more than anything. It does. So it's important for your cell membrane to actually be adhesive and stay intact. Um, that is directly correlation to like if your body's receiving enough hormones. So cholesterol is like um, a glue that holds hormones to your cells. So without enough like animal cholesterol, your body's not going to absorb or respond to hormones. They're not going to attach or go to where they're supposed to be. Which, I mean, that can cause a slew of fucking problems. Low testosterone in men, like I said, or high estrogen in women. We got prostate cancer in men, breast cancer in women, and then like all the other problems that come from low testosterone, which is like sleeplessness, heart problems, like problems getting hard, like fucking all types of shit. It's not good for you. Sperm production, like can't have babies. Uh, it's also the second thing that cholesterol does is it's a huge um, factor for your absorption rate for vitamin D. And if you remember back, people still should be hearing about this, but coronavirus, the majority of people that were dying from coronavirus were deficient in vitamin D. Most people are deficient in vitamin D, but um, if you're not getting enough like animal cholesterol, you really are. Or if you have too much plant like seed oils, which are fucking horrible for you, that is actually bad too. Your body needs vitamin D. It's low vitamin D and low absorbance of vitamin D. Like I said, it was a factor for COVID, and it's definitely a factor for people with like an autoimmune. So if you look back at like the autoimmune, this is an interesting one. Like autoimmune diseases have like increased like 50% since people have been told to um, lower their cholesterol, and then doctors will give a pill to lower your cholesterol. Interesting, right? I don't want to believe that the doctors are malicious in thought or actions. I think that somebody else's or some other people are, so these ideas are pushed. Uh, and it does, to create a weak immune system, does create a pathway for us to be easily controlled. So eat fucking meat, take in cholesterol, you're not gonna fucking die. Can fucking guarantee it. Look at old, like farmers that, whole milk, eggs, cheese, beef. They were strong and they lived for a long time, forever. They didn't have all the dementia, and all the issues that people are having these days. So it's you can look this all up. I mean, you have to really look because the the internet is really pushed to like direct us or misguide us. So like the more people talk about lies, that's the most that's pushed to the top. So the truths are usually way, way, way down at the bottom, which you gotta go through like fucking 50 pages to find. Or you can just look up actual studies, which is actually works also. Yeah, the sodium, the salt one, uh, that's interesting, but even like it's the same. Every single muscle in your body um, needs salt, needs sodium to work efficiently. Your body is made up of like 50 to 55% water, and it just to me it doesn't make sense to why you'd want to limit your intake of sodium because you would lower that. You lower like the amount of absorption rate of water in your muscles. Your heart's a muscle, very fucking important to work. I mean, you have lots of muscles in your body that you look at bodybuilders that are on stage that are super dehydrated. They're taking a lot of diuretics, and some of them die. There's bodybuilders that have died on stage from having so little bit of water in their body. People cramping up, muscle spasms, strokes, heart attacks. So I think that's the proof alone that you need it. So another little fun fact is like I think it was I know the FDA has been lying to us about a lot of shit for a long time, like the whole sugar push and all that other bullshit. But in 1977, the U.S. Senate select it was funny. The U.S. Senate's Select Committee on Nutrition and Human Needs. And doesn't that sound hilarious? So the U.S. Senate has a committee on nutrition and human needs. I mean, since when did the Senate become specialists on fucking nutrition? But whatever. It's almost like the SS. Like nobody should be telling us, you know, what we should, how you should change your diet if it's been eaten a certain time. And like I, I don't believe the studies they find. Exactly the opposite has happened. So it literally tells you should cut your sodium by 50 to 80%, which is still true to today, which is baffling because, like I said, your body needs it more than anything. uh, so I looked up some numbers, and I think I think it was 19 like 80, which should be like a couple of years after they started like pushing for low sodium. Uh, 90%, 92% of people that had high blood pressure and were taking high blood pressure medication had been taking in little salt, very low sodium for years, for over 5 years. So, which means like if you've been lowering your sodium for over 5 years, eventually you get on blood pressure medications. Which does that make fucking sense? Like you're told to limit your salt, protect your heart, and then you limit your salt, and then you get on blood pressure medication. Yeah, and heart attacks and strokes have rose by 15% since 1980. And yes, it could be other things, but also 1977 they told you to cut 80% of your sodium out, salt out of your diet. Could it be that? I'm gonna go with that. I put salt on everything, and I always tell people too, and I feel better. I mean, I'm 47. I feel good all the time. Um, I don't have a heart problem as well as I know. I'm a lot healthier than the majority of 47-year-olds my age. I'm strong, and fucking keep going day after day. And I'm rarely am I sick. Might be a sinus infection for like 2 days, but I am never like incapacitated sick ever. A lot of animal cholesterol. I take a lot of sodium. Take a lot of vitamin D too, but that's a whole other thing. What was the next one? Okay, this was a good one. Okay, this question. This is like, I think it's like 4 parts. What is the difference using a poly shirt versus a band bench shirt? The poly shirt is more like a learned specific technique that you have to, and the band shirt is more like you can move it the same as your raw bench. The only difference is I noticed that, and if you look at a lot of people who've benched and were successful and put years and time in using a poly shirt are much stronger benchers in a band shirt because they're the poly shirt will really try to cripple, will really try to break your elbows in. So you're in a poly shirt, your back has to get stronger to stay wide and load the weight on the way down, while the poly shirt is trying to literally break you fucking in. So it strengthens your upper back, and then it helps you on the bottom. And yeah, you can get faster, but truly loading the poly shirt and technique with it, like you need stronger triceps to lock that fucking weight out in a poly shirt. So I think if you look at the people that are really, and I'm like, you see people and there's people in band shirts that are benching heavyweight that have never used a poly shirt, and they're very shaky. They look like they're about to get fucked up, and a lot of them do. Like they're always fucking dumping weight. You see people following them down, and it's fucking scary as fuck to watch. But people that are proficient in a poly shirt, they seem to have complete control over that bar in a band shirt, even though it doesn't lock your shoulders in. It's not as protecting as a poly shirt, but they seem to be able to. I do, you know what I mean? Like, friends of mine, Rich Putman, and I have other friends that benched in poly shirts for years and are very, 1,000, 1,100 pound benchers in a band shirt. So, yeah, I would say that's the fucking huge difference there. One takes technique and strength, the other one takes, the band shirt just takes balls, I guess, and fucking luck. What takes more skill? How much more? A second. Like I said, the poly shirt takes way more skill and technique. A lot of patience, years, time, a lot of effort working on it over and over and over. And then you don't want to jump from shirt to shirt because every brand of shirt has a different groove. So if you're constantly doing that, you're never figuring out a fucking groove of a shirt. You stick one and you just stick with it, pretty much. What was it? How much more does a band shirt give over a poly shirt? Well, hundreds of pounds, without a doubt, hundreds of pounds. But at risk of fucking certain death or fucked up shit. I know. The young kid Benny that I have, a 70-year-old, he used a poly shirt a bunch of times. He, I don't. Should he be? Am I gonna put him back in it? Yes. But he is in a band shirt right now. He's been using an F8 shirt, a 2-ply band shirt. It is big on him, and he's still getting 500 plus pounds out of it at 198 pounds body weight. But he does use a poly shirt too, and I think it made a difference. It forced him to get his back strong. Those, and he used bands, like Rams and like the F8 band, like a slingshot type thing. So it teaches your back to get strong because you got to keep your elbows out. What are my thoughts on the traditional West Side Circamax? Okay. This is more than likely going to piss a lot of people off. But this are my thoughts. And this is my belief. And kind of what I've proven. I don't know. Uh, I think the traditional Circumax training is a great prepper, but is very easy, very fucking easy to fuck your central nervous system and push you into overtraining because the band tension is so fucking high, and you're taking your heaviest weights of your meet prep before you're just a few weeks out of your meet with enormous amount of band tension, which uh, for one, completely overload your central nervous system is not super great on tendons, and three, I totally believe that squatting heavy with bands on the bottom, not at the top, but against bands on the bottom up, uh, is almost like using a Smith machine. Meaning the bands ground you, they pull you to the ground, they pull you in position. So they keep you from being able to fall forward or fall back as much. They kind of they put you right in this straight position. True, there is people that have trouble, they can dump a weight, but if you're if you're using a camber bar or safety squat bar with bands, I think that's good in terms of keeping your chest up because it will try to bend you over. But I really don't think taking your two heaviest weights of your meet prep against 60% band tension is a fucking great idea. I just don't. I think it's a bad idea. I used to get burnt out. You see a lot of people that do it, they get burnt out, they get to their meet and they're burnt the fuck out. It takes your body 3 to 5 weeks to recover once your central nervous system crashes. So if you're taking your biggest lifts and you take 2 weeks and then it's 2 weeks before your meet, your central nervous system is still going to be fucking in the shit on meet day. Now I'm not saying there are some people with an enormous amount of drugs in their system that can do it, or people with some genetic freaks, yes. But I think in terms of an overall approach, that does not work. So that's just going to go to what I do. So what I've done is I've changed it a little bit throughout the years, and I've stuck with one that I think works. So the first week is actually the heaviest week, and I do the red Elite Fitness bands over top of the mono, and they're not tied, they're just kind of hung over, so it only gives you I think it was 20 pounds. Some people it's 25, but I measured it. The most is 20 to 25 pounds it takes off the bottom of the lift. There's nothing on the top, so it doesn't help you at all on the top. It helps you off the bottom about 20 pounds, 25 pounds. And we work up to our first and second attempts of total, bar weight on the bar. Then the next week, what we do is we actually go lighter with actual full bar weight. So we only do 72% of your competition max plus 125 pounds of chains. Now, you have to squat at least 400 pounds to use that. If not, we use 80 pounds of chains. But anyone over 400 pound squat, you do 125 pounds of chains and 72%. Why 72%? Because it fucking seems to work the best, to be honest. I think 75 is too much, and anything under 70 is too low. So I've kind of stuck around 72%, I think. So plus 125 pounds of chains. Work up to one single, done. I was saying the first week allows for a 20-pound out of the bottom. So basically what that's doing is it's helping, it's taking a little bit. It's giving you've been fucking training hard your whole prep. I don't know how we do 16 or 18 weeks prep. So, you take all these weeks and you're doing tons of glute hams and, fucking box deadlifts. We pull heavy every single week 3 out of 4 weeks we pull heavy, so we're doing that, and tons of box squats. So your hips and glutes are getting like pummeled almost every single week. So this kind of prepares your central nervous system and prepares your mental acuity to, and confidence to stand up at the weight. So you're standing up at all that weight, but it's helping you out of the bottom by like 20 pounds. So you kind of save your hips and your glutes for when you need them most, which is, give them a little break. Keep your technique the same, you give them a little break, and then, come meet day, they're healthy. They're completely healthy and fresh. And yeah, the second week I choose to use chains instead of doing the same thing again. I choose chains and I completely, went a different route because the chains will just help you brace more correctly because they move. So it's like your last chance at like, fucking brace up, stay tight. You hit it heavy as fuck the week before, so you're working more bracing, keeping your chest up, and that you work up to like a heavy single. Like I said, if it's light, you can go a little heavier than the 72%, but you want to work up to a heavy single that you smoke, and which should be lighter than the week before. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just like, to be a good coach, you're trying to like always, like don't leave any rock left unturned, or like look outside the box or whatever those fucking stupid fucking analogies are. But I think I'm always trying to like take every single thing I hear, constantly learning, constantly trying to like absorb more, and I test it and try to like integrate it into my system and see if it works or not. And I always test myself. And my technique is on, so it's not like you can't take someone new who isn't proficient with technique, because then there's all those variables as the weight gets heavier. So it has to be somebody who's like been lifting the exact same weight for fucking like over fucking been lifting for fucking shit 26 years. So like someone who's the technique's proficient, it's the same no matter what weight's on the bar over and over for years, so that you'll try some different thing out, or different technique, or different program, or different like variation, and I'll have a good like idea of whether it works or not. I know I'm getting older, but I still can fucking do it all. Actually, that was the answer to that question. That was a good question, actually. Where was my other? Okay, another. Had some really fucking dumb ones too. Okay, what is your greatest regret in life? I have 0 regrets in life. Don't regret getting divorced. Don't regret meeting my ex-wife. Wouldn't have had my son. If I wouldn't have got divorced, I wouldn't have met Seta. If I didn't get my son to lift, Seta actually reposted my son's deadlift. Everyone was. I mean, Giacomo one time had 80,000 followers on Instagram, his Little Muscles Mo, until crybaby bitches kept reporting him over and over saying he wasn't 12 years old, so they canceled his account, which in fact, it was my account. I just called it Little Muscles Mo, and I posted him because it was exciting. He was proud of it. He was sponsored by a couple Tough Raps, and he was sponsored by this company, Kilo Cartel, which Kilo Cartel gave him like $500 every month. So like, and they gave him money every time he did a meet. He loved it. It was good for him. It gave him a lot of confidence, and it gave us something to do. Like I said, I didn't have him every day, so this was something that really, really helped us bond together. And it was cute. I was proud of him. You know what I mean? I'm still proud of him. I'm always proud of him. But I mean, like, it was a cute, he was a strong little fucker, and he still is. But it was, people love to see it, But had I not went down every path, have I changed one fucking little thing, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be answering these fucking questions. I wouldn't. So, it's, I guess, to have regrets in life. If you hate your present standing in life, if you hate your actual location that you are in presently, I guess you could have regrets. But I am not unhappy with my life at all. So, I have no regrets. Fuck it. Okay, next. At what moment in your life did you decide or realize that you wanted to help and coach others? This is two parts. Yes. Okay. I want to say I've basically been a life coach majority of my life. People have treated me like the bartender they tell their problems to for years since I was 15. They've always come to me for help, answers, just to talk, just someone to listen to. I don't tell people secrets to nobody. Seneca can tell you that. I People tell me something in private, I do not share it with anybody. I think that trust allows people to be more open with me when I think people have a lot they keep inside and people need someone to talk to. Uh, I never had anyone like that, anyone like me until I met Seta. But I tell her everything, and I'm very thankful and fortunate that I have someone like that. And I think I've always tried to be like that to other people because I know people need. Because I know I always needed it, and I never had it. So I'm like, well, how can I? I think it kind of helped me in terms of shit, like to like actually help other people and make me feel better, even though I never fucking fixed my issues. But it helped me feel better at least. So people have just been fucking sharing their life issues, and when I was like 21 or 22, like I pretty much was like a life coach. Like I didn't charge money for it, but I would meet with people and talk about their lives and give them advice on how to fix or change things. Um, yeah, and the whole part like connects like why I wanted to help people in terms of like powerlifting. I think that's because or strength training. It's because I had a car accident when I was 21. I was drunk and I rolled my car on a highway. I was speeding, racing a friend. I had a Eagle Talent all-wheel drive. It was fucking fast, and I was going 125 miles per hour. I was going on the highway. There was an on ramp, and this tractor trailer was coming onto it, and he decided to just cut over two lanes and cut in front of me. Now he would have hit me, so I swerved, but swerving at 125 miles per hour, my front driver's side wheel tire, well, actually the rim broke. The actual rim broke. So the front of the car dug into the left, into the pavement, and it turned me left. I hit the wall so fucking hard that the force was like a bouncy ball bouncing, so it flipped me over and rolled me to the right. I rolled over a couple times, landed on my wheels, and fucking the car was done. It wasn't fucking running, but kind of like went, ah man, another fucking 1,000 yards or something. It was fucking crazy. Missing a wheel. Another tire was fucking the wheel way the fuck down the road. I had a compression fracture in my spine. Cop felt bad for me. Told me, it was a trooper actually, told me he was not going to call paramedic or 911 because then they would give me alcohol test and I would go to jail. So basically I just had my friend I was racing, he pulled over and he was there, he walked up to see my fucking disaster. He drove by me after I flipped and he drove me home and the tow truck came and took the car. So I went to the doctors the next day and if I was sober and I had a compression fracture in my spine and my back looked like Pac-Man. It was missing a chunk. I had an enormous amount of trouble, a lot of pain walking. They wanted to do all kinds of fusion and stuff with me. And I said no. I wasn't willing to. I've never trusted doctors. I didn't want myself cut open. So I did a bunch of different things. until that point in my life, I'd never strength trained. So I did like boxing, martial arts. I had like weights I lifted, but not like real strength training. So I began like doing stuff like seated stuff and holds and stuff like that, and it seemed to like work my core by doing everything seated because I had to stay braced or else it fucking hurt because my spine was compressed. And then I started doing like the McGill, like Dr. Stuart McGill, Bird Dog stuff, and I had met with him and started doing those, and it was, I don't know, say after learning how to do all that stuff, about 4 months in, then I started actually weight training because my back felt completely fucking better. I had an MRI done and my spine was fucking solid again. How did it grow back? Who knows? I hadn't taken steroids or growth hormone or anything at that point. Nothing. When I was 21, my natural growth hormone and test was high enough as it was, but it fucking somehow healed, which I totally that taught me a lot. Like your body's meant to heal. It will heal itself. Um, I don't know how, but my spine completely healed, and I know at least three other people. I'm not gonna mention their names. At least three other people that have been. One I will, because like he sells it all the time, talks about it. Brian Carroll, like he has books. He's got pictures of his discs when they were completely crashed and fractured, and then he has them, like a year later, and they all grew back, perfect. So McGill's actually do work. They really do. Anyone that doesn't do them, you're playing Russian roulette with your back, and you're giving up, maybe 100 pounds on all your lifts by not doing these. So I think everyone should do, but do the real like Dr. McGill, Stuart McGill. Do the real tempo, do the real order, the holds. Like there's 3 lifts. Everyone botches it up. So go on, find his website, Dr. Stuart McGill, and look that up and actually follow how to do them correctly. Brian Carroll talks about how to correctly do them, and it'll bulletproof your back. I think that's one of his names in the book. But it really will fucking heal your back and bulletproof it for sure. So because I fixed myself like that, I started helping people fix their back problems because I felt like, okay, I did those things, plus I made up some of my own things that I did. I had my own, warm ups and my own things I do, prehab stuff, and I feel it works perfect. And I've been doing it for I've had to have helped over 100 people. Not a chiropractor, but I've helped over 100 people, and that was early on. Um, since then, I don't know how many people. So I did that and dieting. I help people with nutrition and diets. Uh, and then when I became a better lifter and I learned enough, I was like almost 30. Then I started actually like training people. If they came to me, I don't search out for it. I'm not. I believe the majority of people don't follow, and I mean majority, 98%, do not follow the program that their coaches tell them to do. They don't adhere to it, and that's why they don't get the progress they get. That's why they get hurt. That's why everything happens. They don't do what they're told. If you have a coach that sets something out for you, you have to fucking follow it exactly. If you do not, you're not going to get the same results. So just knowing that, I know people, I mean, I'm not special. People are going to listen to me either, 100%. They'll dick around, do their own fucking thing. So I'm not I don't push it, but I do, online coaching, and I'm at the gym, I do it because I'm there physically with people, but I do sell it online too, but I just don't advertise it because I think people aren't going to fucking do it. They ain't going to do it how I want it to be done, so it pisses me off. But, I guess, what is it? Back to my question. I think that's it, trying to make your body. I wanted to make people feel better, and not just in the gym, but out of the gym, because you're only in the gym a short time. So if you're strong in the gym, but you feel in pain and you feel like shit the rest of the day, does it even fucking matter? No, you want the quality of life is what I want. and I like helping people with that more than anything. I do like making people strong, but number one is quality of life. I will never want somebody hurt over making them strong. I never want that. It's, no, sorry. You're coming to the wrong person if that's what you're seeking here. I'm not going to let you get hurt. What was my motivating factor behind wanting to help others? Now, why do I like helping people so much? I collected for a bookie from a very young age, and I did a lot of fucking shit to people that I also don't regret, because nobody gets anything they don't deserve. But I do think if you hurt enough, you have to balance it, and you have to help enough, and that makes you okay. It's fucked up. My fucked up head, like if you hurt 50 people, you have to help 50 people. Then it balances out. You're good. You're not evil. And then I totally believe that the most important thing a man can do is to, pass on his genetic genes, like having children, and the two is to create things. I think a man should be creating, not destroying. Too many people out there destroying other people, destroying people's feelings, destroying emotions, destroying property, destroying, we all these fucking stupid BLM and the fucking Antifa and these fucking retards, destroying property, destroying, trying to hurt cops, trying to hurt other people. No, those are not men. Men don't destroy, they build. So, what makes societies great? It's those who build and create. So I want to build, and I want to, teach. I try to, teach everyone at the gym, especially the young kids, the young men, that they need to build their life, create, add something to the world, add something positive to the world. Don't add something negative. There's enough negative shit. Be positive. Be the reason that somebody smiles today. I'm not trying to fucking be gay or stupid. I try to make one random person laugh or smile every day. That is my goal. I believe if I do that, no matter what kind of day they're having, they may do it and turn to another person, and then it becomes a habit for them. So then they do it, and it might go around. There's too many miserable fucking people. So be happy to someone today. That answers that question. Okay, well, I have one question left, and it comes from Nick Abendola, and it may be, it may be the dumbest question I've ever heard. I actually have to go to my phone for this one. So, first question, there's two questions, is adding whole tens, 2 digits in quotes. Grade 2 addition worksheet. Question 1, 80 plus 80 is 160. 80 plus 20 is 100. 70 plus 60 is 130. Just kidding. Am I? Is it? It's 130. 50 plus 60 is 110, Nick. 80 plus 70 is 150. 10 plus 80 is 90. 70 plus 10 is 80. 80 plus 20 is 100. 80 plus 10 is 90. 20 plus 30 is 50. Whoops, I kind of got off the question. 80 plus 60 is 140. 30 plus 70 is 100. 50 plus 60 is 110. 40 plus 50 is 90. 30 plus 40 is 70. 40 plus 60 is 100. 70 plus 60 is 130. 20 plus 50 is 70. 20 plus 40 is 60. And the last question, number 20, 30 plus 20 is 50. You got them all right, Nick. I am going to ask this very same quiz to someone later today when I make it into the podcast. But that was the easy question. Then there was the most fucking ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my entire life. And it took me about a total of 4 hours to get an answer. I do not know if it's the correct answer. Nick said he actually does know the answer, which is disturbing because I don't even know if this is a real fucking question at all. I tried to look up the name of one of these things and I have no fucking idea. All I could find is what the equals were. Seems like a fucked up algebra equation is what it looks like to me. And I wasn't good at algebra, but that's probably why it took me almost 4 hours to complete this. I didn't have process, but I'll explain it to you. Let me just read it to you first, okay? I'm getting way into it. A delivery truck. Oh, this is brought to you by Nick Amendola. If you want to go on Nick Amendola on Instagram and send him a message about this, be more than welcome to. Okay, a delivery truck takes 4.5 rose horums, as if that's a real thing. There is, I'll tell you after. 4.5 rose horums to get from its warehouse in Garden City to the customer in Floraville at a speed of 50 poppymiscus per petunaminum, probably pronouncing that wrong, and uses 10 cedarites of special milligranine fuel during the trip. How many panziometers are traveled between the warehouse and customer, and what is the driver's fuel mileage in poppymiscus per marigoldatum? Yes. Yes, this is a real fucking question from Nick. Okay. So what I did was I went and I got, there's a breakdown that says like, I found something. The only thing I found online was like, what equals like poppymiscus equals 1 lily-pilly and 3 lily-pillies equal 1 panziometer. And for time, it's like 1 Rosenbaum or whatever equals 6 Piniosas, and 1 Piniosa equals 8 pentunaminium or whatever the fuck it is. And then 1 Rosahorum equals 48 pentanamiums or whatever the fuck that is again. And then for the volume of it, 1 cedarite equals 7 biganolas, and 1 biganola equals 2 marigoltums. So 1 cedarite equals 14 marigoltums. So I had to go over that for about an hour and try to put that shit in my brain in some fucked up way, okay? And it's basically like this. And then what I did was, okay, I took the original problem and I created an algebraic equation for it, which looks like this. And I'm not positive, I could read this to you, this right here, but then I gotta fucking try to say these words 1,000 fucking times that I don't even know how to pronounce them, and I'm not positive if that's, I don't know, makes any fucking sense, or if you even give a fuck, to be honest. But anyways, my answer, Nick, and the reason why I put this question at the very end, so you'd have to watch the entire fucking thing, I hope, is 77.14 Papiomiscus per Marigoldtum. 77.14 Papiomiscus per Marigoldtum. If this is correct, Nick has to chew or gnaw his own right hand off and then shove it in Benny's ass. This is his prize he offered. So, on a nicer note, Nick is going to be a New York State Trooper. So, congratulations, Nick. But this is his question, and I'm hoping I answer it correctly. Thank you all for joining me today on this Q&A. You can go under, you can actually, my Become Rhino Strong gym, the Instagram, you can actually do that, or you can go to my YouTube, Evolve with James, and if you have any question, like if I get another like 20 questions, I'll pick 10 at random and answer them also. Okay? Thank you all, and have a great day.